Welcome to episode 7 of Fatal Female Friday. Today we'll be discussing the case of the 19-year-old accused murderer, Emma Pressler. Unlike these other cases, there actually will not be a lot of information that was not, in my opinion, that has to be told. So this video will hopefully be shorter than the others, but it's still a pretty interesting story. So let's go ahead and just jump right into the video. So again, unlike these other stories, I don't exactly have like the date of birth or the hometown or anything. All we have is up up to the crime that happened. Like that's all the information that I have, basically. Is for now, unless some updated information comes out later, because this happened just last year, back in 2020. So on September 13th, 2020, around 11 o'clock p.m., the home of Sierra Rod and her family had actually been shot into, like a drive-by shooting, and Sierra, who's 20 years old at the time, had unfortunately died as a result of this drive-by, whereas her younger brother and her two parents, they were also in the home, but luckily all of them had survived. And so, and miraculously, none of them got injured. Unfortunately, it was only Sierra. And so, a motorcycle, which was found after the shooting, a red truck which belonged to Emma's boyfriend, Austin McCullough, and another car left the scene. The shooting that I just talked about, if I had mentioned earlier, the little brother that I just mentioned that was living in the house at the time, he was 15, and it was believed that he was actually the target because he was beefing with this Houston gang. Because I don't think I mentioned this, but this is like in the area of like Houston. Oh, it's close to Houston. And there's this gang called the 10K, and the brother, who has been unnamed, but I'm pretty sure you do some deep research, you can find the name. I guess because he's a kid, 15, you're still a minor, so they're protecting his name, I guess. And he had some gang beef, and then he was the target, but his sister, who was innocent and had nothing to do with it, she ended up getting killed in the crossfire. That's what they believe happened. And so that wasn't tragic enough because they had just lost their 20-year-old daughter, who they said it was like the glue to their family, basically, like what kept them together. Um, it said within a week. Some sources say within 5 days, but I'm gonna say within a week. The father actually was killed also, but he was killed by his father-in-law. So I guess like Crystal's biological father, after this disagreement, and they had just came back from the visual they just had for Sierra. So now we have like two murders from the same family within 1 week of each other. And as far as I know, at least from what I could find, the father-in-law has not gotten charged yet. It doesn't say whether or not he will get charged because he did claim self-defense. And it is Texas after all. I mean, if it's self-defense, you should be okay. But yeah, so now Crystal has lost her daughter and her husband within the same week. So as you can imagine, it's very tough for her. And so we get to the trial for Sierra's death. And the judge mentioned that there was actually no connection between the red getaway truck and the red truck that Emma was found in later. Because although it was similar to it, we don't know if it's like the same truck, even though most people believe it is. Because, red trucks aren't that common as if it was like a black truck or like a white truck. Because, this is Texas, so there's plenty of trucks, but like not red, you know? I feel like red would stand out more than like black or white. And so yeah, the judge basically said like unless you have something that goes above just thinking she may have been there, like you unless you have like actual, I guess, like proof, like undeniable proof that she was in fact there, we can't charge her. You don't have cause. It does say that the month after the shooting, Austin, the boyfriend, Emma's boyfriend, and three other people were charged and arrested for Sierra's murder. Once Crystal found out that Emma actually couldn't be charged for the murder despite being in one of the getaway vehicles, she was there. She may not have shot the trigger, but she was involved. Some sources say that she did, in fact, drive the getaway car, which does make her an accomplice to murder. So at least be charged for, at least if she did drive the car, at least be charged for that, because that is technically considered being an accomplice. She also wants Emma and like everybody that was involved in the shooting. She wants them all to go to jail, of course. And then once like I guess she wants life imprisonment, and then after they die, then they want them to rot in hell.
Death to all of them.
Crystal's actually said that she actually apparently had called the cops prior to the incident 17 times because of Emma, like because of this feud that had been going on with her son versus the gang. Whereas the sheriff's office has said they had been to the house multiple times, but it was not in the double digits. So they're claiming less than 10. She's claiming over 20. Some just don't seem right. And so, yeah, for Emma, because there wasn't, it was in there, it was, according to the judge, there wasn't probable enough cause to have her arrested. She basically was like let go, and the charges were dropped for her, not for everybody else, but just her, right? Because of lack of evidence.
Bitch, I know you fucking lying. I know you fucking lying. Because, oh my God, so.
And so Emma just got off on murder. It's almost a year later, so it's this year now. So it's August 16th, 2021. So basically about two, yeah, like 2 months ago. So this is still kind of fresh. Shortly after 10 p.m., a fire had broken out at the address of 2000 Aspen Glade Drive in the Woodlands Hills Village neighborhood. And so Emma, and so it said that Emma escaped, but also there was a woman who was the wife, Carissa Lindos, escaped, but Carissa had like 70% burns across her body, so almost three-fourths. Um, but luckily she survived. But this 33-year-old man who was Carissa's husband, named Devin Graham, he was the father of three, and he died like 2 to 3 days later after the incident. Um, they said father of three, so there are children involved, but I guess for some reason the kids were not in the house when the fire broke out because it never said like the condition of the kids. So I guess it's just safe to assume the kids were not in the house, which thank God, because something could happen to them. They probably would not got out in time. Because Carissa barely escaped with her life, and Devin died. So who knows what happened to the kids? So I would consider it a blessing that the kids were not in the house when the fire started. Um, However, before Devin's death, because remember he did die like at the scene. He died like I first saw it. He died like days later. He died while like after the fire, but before he died, in that little time gap, he had actually told police that Emma was in the home. Some sources say she broke in. She got into the house, so I guess it's safe to assume she broke in. She poured this unknown liquid on him, and then she set him on fire. And so I guess the liquid that she poured on him was this accelerant that caused the fire to like, whew, you know. And so by setting him on fire, that's how the house caught on fire. Because of that liquid. So that liquid was like an accelerant, and that's what caused it to, whew, you know. And if that wasn't bad enough, if losing Devin wasn't bad enough, Carissa couldn't even have visitors in the hospital while she was suffering from infections, and even have to go do surgery because of these major 70% burns across her body. And obviously this was this year, so we're dealing with the regarding this murder, witnesses, so I guess like neighbors and stuff, say that they saw like Emma leave the scene afterwards, like in a white four-door sedan.
Whoever's the owner of the white sedan, you left your lights on.
Emma also had charges on her before, cause so you would think being 19, she had like this clean record, like I do, and I assume most of you do. They're watching this for about 1920. No, honey. So her record prior to these two murders were theft, possession of drugs, resisting arrest, and failure to show up at court. and even had another warrant out for her regarding having meth.
Damn!
Yeah, and so David Graham's grandfather, Norman Graham, who's like 72, he is now actually under witness protection, and he was told not to tell. He was told by investigators not to say anything.
But shh, don't tell nobody.
And the reason for this is believed to be because he like out of it's like out of fear of retaliation, and he's not the only one. He's the only one I can find that's actually currently under protection, but he's not the only person that's spoken out regarding these murders. There's actually several people who have spoken out regarding this. They knew that there was trouble. There was allegations of prostitution and drug sales going on in the house. There were neighbors who have former neighbors who were living in the neighborhood that Emma was living at the time, but they moved out, or they either moved to another neighborhood in the same city, they moved out of the city, or I wouldn't be surprised, it didn't say this, but I would be surprised if some of them even moved to a new state, like far, far away from Houston, this little Houston area, because of the terror that this little 19-year-old girl Emma caused. On August 27th, so I guess like literally 3 weeks after this 3 weeks after the fire, Emma, it said that Emma actually was arrested in Waller County, and she is currently incarcerated. And I guess we're just waiting on another trial because she got away with murder once, and we're just going to see will she get away with it again. So because this case is not, I guess, finished, because she hasn't went to trial for Devin's murder yet, at least not from what I can find, even though it's been almost a month and a half. There most likely will be an update to the story. I don't know when. It's probably gonna be like when she is actually sentenced and everything. I don't know yet. We'll just have to see, honestly, at this point. I guess you could say that was the first like really modern case that I did. I really didn't want to do it because there wasn't like the complete like background like there is with like all the other cases, because I can tell you like when they were born, where they were raised, their childhood, stuff like that. But with this case, all I really had information wise was the murders themselves. So yeah, I can try to do more modern cases, but I'd rather it be like after they've been sentenced and sent to jail and everything, instead of there being an active warrant out for their arrest and not knowing where they are. Especially if she lives in the same state as I do, assuming she's even in the same state. So yeah. So yeah, I guess I'll just stay updated. I hope you guys too. I hope you guys will too. And maybe there will be an update video. Maybe not. I don't know. Hopefully she does get sentenced, like properly sentenced, because she technically got away with murder like twice. Well, technically once, but hopefully they won't let her do it twice. Otherwise, basically a free pass to another murder. Yeah, that was episode 7 of Fatal Female Friday, and I will see you Fatal Females next Friday. Bye!